going to talk about a very common mental health issues, that is obsessive compulsive disorder or OCD. And the vicious cycle of OCD, how it forms and the management of OCD. Hi, I am Dr. Sharbani Laha Samanta, counseling psychologist and psychotherapist. Obsession is any kind of repeated thoughts, urges, any kind of mental images like humiliating, violent images or sexual abuse images that cause severe anxiety. To reduce anxiety, people with OCD often involve in repetitive behavior, which is called compulsion. For example, someone may have a fear of being contaminated by touching the object that others have touched. So this fear or anxiety that create a compulsive behavior of washing. Maybe the person washing that hands constantly, or people with OCD sometimes have doubt whether they have locked the door or not. So this doubt often leads to the compulsive behavior, checking compulsion. This is called checking compulsion. So if you have or your near and dear ones having any kind of this type of symptoms, not to get worried at all, because OCD is 100% absolutely treatable with psychotherapy, and in few cases, severe cases, medicine needed. Apart from the checking and washing compulsion, another type of compulsion is harming to loved ones. Yes, this is very common nowadays. Now I am going to share a true case study. She is 58 years old, a lady. She is having a thought of killing his son. But now you can think about, this is so much painful for a lady, for a mother, that this is just a thought. She is thinking about that if I kill my son. She was so anxious about such thoughts, and she started to believe this way that she is a very bad mother. There is no meaning, no purpose of her life, and suicidal thoughts also were there. Therefore, she started avoiding her son because of such worries, such anxiety. Let me discuss the vicious cycle of obsessive compulsive disorder. The cycle of OCD begins with a trigger, which eventually lead to negative thoughts, compulsive actions and avoidance. Trigger could be, for example, touching something or leaving the house or driving at night. When you touch a chair, you think you get the jumps. When you are leaving your home, you think, if I left the gas on, naturally that create anxiety or tension. When you drive at night, your obsessive or intrusive thoughts are, if I ran over something. Intrusive thoughts may lead to avoiding behavior. You may avoid driving car just because of your fear of accident. Or remember the example that I have given. That lady, that mother, she kept herself locked in a room just because of, to protect her son, to save her son. These are the safety behaviors. You desire to seek safety this way. Then you evaluate your thoughts negatively. You may think, I should not think this way. I should not behave this way. When you desperately suppress or control your thoughts, the obsessive thoughts will come more and more. Suppression doesn't work. If you tell yourself not to think about a black cat, you will think more about a black cat. Thought suppression leads to thought rebound. You now are watching yourself totally self-conscious, fearing every possible thought or intrusion that does not reflect a pure and good mind. You get frustrated, anxious, worried, or irritated. Now, to reduce anxiety, you perform some neutralizing ritual. Perhaps you wash your hands excessively, wash a certain way, arrange things in a certain way, go back and check again and again whether you switch off the light or switch off the gas oven. You find yourself doing these things until you have a sense of completion. You say, I can't stop now because I have done enough. This felt sense of completion now becomes your new rule book or for rituals or compulsions. Next, you want to avoid the triggers naturally. You avoid touching things, avoid public restroom, avoid shaking hands, avoid people that make you have feelings that are bad and disgusting feelings. Avoid, avoid, and avoid. You are running away from the world. This leading to short-term relief. This way you feel short-term reduction of anxiety. But now for long run, no one can avoid the entire world for long run. Your negative thoughts will be enhanced and that leading to more anxiety, more frustration, anger outburst. Negative thoughts like losing control, I'm losing control of something, I'm going crazy, I became so much irresponsible, and ultimately that leading to that aggressive behavior. That is that again that turn to your obsessive thoughts and that trigger. So this way that vicious cycle that create. Now you need to break the vicious cycle of your OCD. First of all, you need to identify your trigger that causes obsession. Then write your obsessive thoughts. Obsessive thoughts, that is any kind of obsessions, any kind of mental images or urges that you are having and that bother you the most. That could be harming someone, fear of having sex with children, or you might think if I arrange my husband's shirts in an order, so my husband will be safe. Otherwise, my husband won't be safe. Yes. This is a obsessive thoughts and that was shared by a client also. So now think about where is the connections between these thoughts, between these two events. How it is possible that if one cannot arrange husband's shirts properly, so her husband won't be in a safe condition. Is it really possible? Think about it. So whatever thoughts or associated feelings you are having, write it. This is called journaling. Journaling is effective for better clarifications of your thoughts, feelings as well as feelings. Feelings is also important. And to manage your trigger also. And then you will be able to dispute your thoughts. I meet a client, she is having a fear of shouting and become aggressive. 23 years old, married, having a daughter. She is having a good relation with her husband. But with her mother-in-law, that relationship is not at all healthy. So actually, whatever she shared, her mother-in-law, she shouted without sufficient reason on her. And she was very suppressive type. She was not able to share her feelings with anyone, even with her own mother. And that created the problem in her. She suppressed a lot, suppressed everything. Her mother abused her a lot verbally, but not physically. She reported it. Physically, she didn't do anything, but verbally, yes, every day. One day, she couldn't tolerate all of this. So, as usual, her mother-in-law shouted on her without sufficient reason, and she got really violent, got very aggressive that day. With a knife, she wanted to attack her mother-in-law, and naturally then they called police. Somehow that incident was managed by their neighbor. After the incident, she felt very guilty, very sad, anxious also. She started losing hope in herself. To her maternal home, there also she is having so much fear of become aggressive. If I again become aggressive, then what will happen? If I kill someone, then what will happen? So this type of thoughts, these are the obsessive thoughts that haunts her a lot. So she avoid going to market, going to shopping mall, everything, every places she avoid. She avoid meeting with people also because of such fear. Even she avoids touching the sharp object also. So where these thoughts come from? These thoughts actually come from our belief system. The way we believe ourselves, others and the entire world, that create our belief system, and we operate from our belief system actually. Our thoughts come from our belief system. So through the conversation with her, I found out few belief system. That is, she believe in herself, I'm a very bad person, I'm a very bad mother, bad daughter. No one can trust me, no one can love me. How can I survive in this world alone? She felt very lonely after the incident. Positive is that her husband was very supportive. He understand everything. So this way you need to work from your belief system, dispute your belief system, that is challenge it. How do you think that you are a bad person, bad mother? Only that incident. So we can resolve it. This is not the end part of your life. Everything is manageable. You are not helpless. She felt very helpless actually, and that create the anxiety. That create the fear. Inside her, deep down, core fear is that helplessness. She felt very helpless, very anxious. And losing her husband also. Because only that person, he understand her a lot. So this way we need to identify that core fear also associated with the belief. She tagged herself as an unlucky person. I can't control my life. So you need to work from your belief system, then dispute your belief, self-belief. Ask questions to yourself. How do I think that I am a bad person, I am an unlucky person? Don't I have any positive experience in my previous life? Am I such a bad person? Think about it. Find out evidence of your thought. This way your thought will be changed. And belief system, our thoughts, our belief system, these are dynamic, these are not static. Fact is static, but belief system is dynamic. We can change our belief system at any point. If someone is thinking that I am a failure, this is also a very common belief system, you can say, common negative thoughts. I am a failure. Think about how do you think you are a failure. Okay, think about your achievement. This way you need to find out the root cause of your OCD. And absolutely the fear is associated, find out the core fear also. After writing your thoughts, obsessive thoughts, then write down your compulsions. That is, what do you do to reduce your anxiety? Whatever behaviors you do, like that washing or maybe checking, whatever you do to reduce anxiety, write it. Moreover, to break down the OCD, not to fight your obsessive thoughts. You have to face the fear. You have to confront the fear and accept it. The best way to deal with OCD symptoms is the exposure and response prevention technique. Suppose if someone is telling you, you are a failure, you can't do anything. Is that really so? You can say to yourself, maybe, may not be. If you fight with the person, then what will happen? You will waste your time, you will waste your energy, your mood will be low, you feel irritated, you feel frustrated. So not to do that. Best way to deal with OCD is to stop fighting first with your obsessive thoughts. If your obsessive thoughts telling something, accept it. Maybe, may not be. I may be a failure, may not be. Okay. Then later on, sometimes you find out your achievement. The best way to deal with your obsessive thoughts is exposure and response prevention technique, ERP technique. This is really very effective. But before starting this ERP, you have to work on your thought first. That dispute your thoughts or challenge your thoughts. Then ERP will be effective for you. ERP, that means you will accept your thoughts. Whatever thoughts you are having, you need to accept it. Live with the uncertainty, that fear, live with it, face with it. Don't use any compulsive behavior, any safety measures. When you're facing the fear, not to use any safety measures. This way you will be able to accept that reality. This way, initially you will feel uncomfortable, your anxiety level will be increased. Yes, it will be increased initially, but face it. Think about it, nothing will happen. What will happen? If someone is saying I'm a failure, then what will happen? Nothing will happen, na? If someone is saying you have a germs in your hand, what else then? Maybe I have a germs, fine. But I can wash my hands before eating. So if others are washing their hands 1 minute or maybe 30 or 40 seconds, so why should I wash my hands for 5 minutes? Okay, so observe others. This is another effective technique. Observe others to deal with OCD. What others are doing, how others are reacting. ERP gradually exposes you to your fear until you are no longer afraid. Research shows that 80% of the cases, 80% of clients with OCD respond well to ERP techniques. OCD, you need to understand your thought process, your belief system, and challenge your belief system. Find out evidence of your thoughts. These are the important thing before doing ERP, exposure and response prevention. In my next video, definitely I will share step-by-step process. How do you practice ERP, exposure and response prevention technique? So keep watching my video and please share, subscribe and like it so that I can reach out more. Also, I will share that CBT techniques, which is very much effective in anxiety cases, depression, any other mental health issues. CBT is very, very effective. So OCD is 100% treatable, not to ignore it. OCD thoughts are really very much stressful. Children or teenagers also, they are having few OCD symptoms. So parents should be cautious, should be careful of these symptoms. They don't want to think about these things, but that actually comes automatically to their mind. So not to blame your child, not to ignore this. If child or teenager having these issues, so immediately you need to take them to the professional or taking care of your child. Thank you so much for watching my video. Sure, I will make more videos, so please like, share and subscribe, and so that I will be very glad to hear your issues also. So please type in your comment box. Thank you so much. Have a good day. Bye bye.